Let's get educated. Let's get educated. Let's get educated. Bitch, I'm hella hated. I'm hella hated. Let's get educated. Let's get educated. Let's get educated. Bitch, I'm hella hated. I'm hella hated. Why, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Listen Doctor Radio, and I'm bringing you guys a brand new show today. And I am brought to you by YouTube, Anchor Radio, and Spotify. And you already know what this is. We are the Listen Doctor Radio. Why, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? This your boy, the Listen Doctor Radio. What's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the Beagle world, in the Facebook world, in the YouTube world? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Man. It's been a minute since I seen you guys. It's been a minute since we did a live show, or it's been a minute since we did a news story like this on the channel. But we got another one. We got a fucked up story to bring you guys. You know I bring you guys everything that's dealing with Chicago. I've been tagging the ass of Chicago for the last 2 years now. We've started doing this shit in Chicago. We started talking about these states. And today we got another one, man. This is what we've been talking about in Chicago lately. The violence. What's the violence with the black folks in America? What is the problem? And I'll let you guys, after this video, you're going to see what is the problem with black people in America. In this story, man, it's fucked up. I'm not going to even tell you guys what happened. I'm going to let you guys look at what happened and tell me what y'all think. Tell me if I have what I feel like about black people. Is it wanted or is it just nonsense? I feel like we are hatred people. I feel like we don't want to see each other grow. And I feel like young black people in America don't have a respect for anyone, especially lives in America. Let's go ahead and get to the story. This story behind me, as you guys can see. Let's get it.
Now at 6, violence in Chicago reaching a new level this weekend.
Yeah, police say they need help addressing the problem before summer is in full swing. WGN Sean Lewis is live at CPD headquarters now with more. Sean?
Ray, Micah, 50 people shot over the weekend in Chicago, 12 of them killed, making this the deadliest weekend so far in 2021. Police Superintendent David Brown saying police alone cannot stop the violence. This weekend, the sobering numbers. More than 50 people shot, 12 killed in Chicago. Among them, 15-year-old Dejon Gator, shot in the head and killed by 2 gunmen as he was on his front porch in Lawndale.
I don't know what the city gonna do about the crime right now. I don't know. I don't believe they know what to do.
Who will join Chicago police officers in protecting the rights of the victims and the families?
Today, CPD Superintendent David Brown, when asked about the escalating gun violence in the city, pointed to a sharp rise in violent offenders being put back on the streets on electronic monitoring instead of staying locked up in jail. The orders coming from Cook County judges.
The chief judge and the judges make the decisions on electronic monitoring. Sheriff Dart has chimed in on this.
In fact, the Cook County Sheriff's Office said in a statement to WGN this: electronic monitoring was designed to ensure that individuals facing low-level, non-violent crimes appear in court. It was not designed for violent offenders. Still this year, Cook County judges ordered it more than 1,000 times in those cases, including for 94 people charged with murder, 261 charged as armed habitual offenders, and more than 500 each of felons possessing a weapon and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon.
It's the judges who have obviously made a decision about violent offenders being okay to be back in the community.
One of those offenders is 21-year-old Cedric Robinson, charged with...
Pay attention to this ugly-ass fool. Cedric Robinson. Pay attention.
back in the community.
One of those offenders is 21-year-old Cedric Robinson, charged with the attempted murder of a 3-year-old girl here at 70th and Damon in Inglewood last June. His original bond set at $1 million, but was lowered to $100,000 by Cook County Judge Joseph Claps. You may remember Judge Claps charged with a gun offense of his own 3 years ago after dropping what appeared.
He dropped a gun. That's his gun.
To be a gun inside of the Cook County Criminal Courthouse. Judge Claps was found not guilty in that case. Still, Robinson, charged with attempted murder, was able to post that lower bond ordered by Judge Claps and walk out of jail on electronic monitoring. This weekend, police arrested Robinson again on a weapons charge, accused this time of having a loaded illegal Glock.
Shootings are done by firearms, so too many illegal guns in the wrong hands.
Superintendent Brown says more needs to be done by the community as a whole to give especially these younger offenders an alternative to guns and to violence.
They could decide to put their guns down. That's just not a foregone conclusion that they will be violent this weekend or the next weekend or next weekend. We can make the case and we can appeal and influence them to make different decisions.
And we just got this lengthy statement from the office of Chief Judge Timothy Evans here in Cook County that says in part this: while a case is pending under the law, judges must impose the least restrictive pretrial conditions possible that ensure the defendants return to court and protect public safety. Jail is the most restrictive condition, depriving the accused of liberty. Electronic monitoring is used throughout the country as the next most restrictive type of condition. Again, that comes from a lengthy statement. You can read the full statement from Chief Judge Evans' office at WGNTV.com. For now, we are live outside of CPD headquarters. Sean Lewis, WGN News.
Now, if you didn't hear...
Okay, let's cut right to the chase.
This lengthy ass statement, this bullshit ass statement that this man said that monitor is used to keep people from keeping them from their liberty because they have certain liberties. They have certain rights as a human being. But I want y'all to just look at 94 charged with murder were put back on outside of the world with a monitor. 261 that was charged with armed robbery and criminal activities were put back out in the world with a monitor. 534 charged as a felon in possession of a weapon. 534 was sent back out in the world. 569 charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon was put back out in the world. And y'all wonder why Chicago is bad. If it's a incentive to go to jail and be happy in jail already, what do you think they're going to do? Because when they locked up, they still talking to their little friends. They still got their bitch coming up there chilling, writing them. They still got phones they can bring in the jail. They still out in the free world. They still been able to watch TV, watch the playoffs. They still been able to do all that on our dime, on citizens' dime. But then they come out in the free world and they do the same shit they did when they were out. I hope my family don't get upset what I'm about to say. My real family. My family. I have a brother of mine who just got out of jail. Not even 2 years now. And he's back in jail, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to be in jail for the next maybe 10 to 15 years of his life. Behind the same shit that he was doing that made him go to jail for 7 years plus. something seriously wrong with black folks in America. You got 55 shot in Chicago in one weekend. One weekend. You have 11 people killed in one weekend. In one weekend. The highest Chicago has seen this year. Because last year the highest that they saw were 68 people that I did that story on. 68 people were shot in 1 week. And a total of 20 was killed in that one weekend. This is not a week. 7 days. 5 days. This is a weekend. The weekend starts on Friday. Technically, Saturday. But people say weekend, Friday. From Friday to Sunday, 55 people were shot. And we want America to feel sorry for us. We want to sit there and make America feel sorry for black people in America. Where you have white judges, black judges, putting these bitch ass niggas back in the world. Knowing they gonna go right back to their little partner. Knowing they gonna go right back to the same block that they did a murder on. This same ratchet ass block that they want to say they love so much that they'll die for. O block, D block, G block, whatever the fuck the block is. This ugly ass street that they stand on the corner and say, yeah, bro, we O block. You don't get your bitch ass and go do something with yourself. None of you motherfuckers in this neighborhood own anything. None of you motherfuckers in this neighborhood pay rent because the government pay your rent. None of you motherfuckers got anything of your own but charges, tattoos, children that you ain't taking care of. But this should shock you. A murder of a 7-year-old in Chicago 2 weeks ago went unsolved for a bit. They finally caught the killers. I think one of them is still on the loose. A 6-year-old murder in Chicago. The criminal has still not been charged. They still have not found him. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? What did I say about black people when it comes to crime? Black people don't stand up to the gangsters, but they stand up to the white cops. They go out and march white lives, Black Lives Matters. Fuck your life. It's all about black life. You pig. You slime. You op. They do that right. But guess what happened to a young lady who was murdered? Guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what happened to a baby that was murdered? We're about to see what happened to a baby that was murdered. The killer is in jail, ladies and gentlemen. The killer is in jail, ladies and gentlemen. The killer who killed this child is arrested. And you know why that child murderer is off the streets? Do you want to know? Do you want to know why that child is off the streets? I know y'all want to know, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to y'all. Let's go ahead and get the news story. This is breaking news, somewhat. But this is breaking news to you guys. That baby killer is off the streets. That baby killer is off the streets because the community the community stepped up and got the killer off the streets. The community got this killer off the streets. And I'm taking my time for a minute because I'm trying to find a story. There's so many stories that you guys have sent me. Just bear with me. There's so many stories that you guys have sent me. And I'm trying to get it, the particular story that I'm talking to you guys about. So give me a minute. This shit was crazy. This shit was crazy, and I am so happy that the family got this killer off the streets. I'm so happy that the family of this child got the killer off the streets. I think this one's it. 1 second. Nope, that's another news story that I want to get to. Is it this one? Nope, not that one. Here it go. Here it go. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready to see? Y'all ready to see the killer that they got off the streets? And y'all might be wondering, who is the young girl who got shot? I'm sorry, it wasn't a killer, but the supposedly killer. The family got this supposed killer off the streets. He didn't kill a young girl, I'm sorry. But this is part 2 of the news story, ladies and gentlemen. What I wanted to talk to you guys about. A young girl was shot and 2 others was injured in a little village shooting. A young girl was shot and it could have been life-threatening. And the people of this city, of this particular part of the city, did not rest until the killers came and went to jail. And who was the color of that young baby? You guessed it, not black. It was a white baby. So, for the black people that's out there that's saying, don't snitch, don't snitch, no snitching, don't snitch, stitches get stitches. The white family and his family, the white people around that neighborhood who saw the murder take place, they told. And did they tell? Everybody who did the shooting got arrested. Let's go.
On this same block where they're now sitting locked in a jail cell.
Angelina Rodriguez is squealing with excitement.
Trying to kill a toddler on this same block where they're now sitting locked in a jail cell.
Angelina Rodriguez is squealing with excitement, as any 2-year-old showered with toys would be.
She's good. She's still in some pain. She tries to walk, but it hurts, so she's recovering though.
That alone is almost a miracle.
It's been a constant struggle. I have nightmares for my daughter.
A little more than a week ago, Friday, May 14th, the 2-year-old was sitting in the back of an SUV with her baby sister just steps from the Cook County Courthouse near 27th in California.
We were just driving here to my house, and they pulled up along. Nothing was said, nothing was thrown up at us, nothing. They just started shooting at us, and my daughter got hit.
Rodriguez immediately raced her daughter to the closest hospital.
I had to take even a one-way because I was just panicking. I just wanted to get my baby. I didn't know where she was hit. She was just bleeding, and I was scared. I was scared for her.
Somehow the bullet spared her tiny bones, and Angelina came home from the hospital just 2 days later.
She's autistic on top of it, so it's really hard because she can't tell me what she's feeling or, like if she's in pain, so I don't know.
Chicago police arrested David Contreras and Rodolfo Irigoyen Wednesday.
And I'm just happy that she's okay and that the people responsible are in custody.
While Angelina can't understand that, police say she's safer.
We asking our little angel here to send a message to Kim Fox, Timothy Evans, which is the chief judge. Help us continue to get these bad guys off the street that did this to this baby, and countless more.
Police say in this case it was information from the community that helped them make arrests so quickly. Now they say they need people connected to other child shootings.
Hey.
Carry out my unlimited plan.
What did she say? You see they cut her off the fucking TV. They cut her off. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see that white lady trying to say what that white lady said? What the community did? The community is the reason why these killers came to justice. These wannabe killers. The fucking community. Those people that live in that community. That's not the ghetto. That's not the ghetto. Came out and said something. And you see how they took her off TV?
Say in this case it was information from the community that helped them make arrests so quickly. Now they say they need people connected to...
Now they said they need other communities to come out and say something about those other murders of those other kids. So you trying to tell me that a white 2-year-old was shot, could have died. The community, in that community where she live at, said we ain't standing for this. They went out and did their research. They looked at their cameras on their house. They went up and brought the cameras to the police. The police put it out to the police officers, and they found the killers in days. Not even, I'm sorry, in hours. They found the shooters in hours. But a young girl in Chicago was murdered. 3 days before that, a 6-year-old black girl, and her killers is still out. So what does that mean, Doc? It means exactly what it sounds like. Black folks don't give a fuck. Black people don't care. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. A 2-year-old was shot. Killers are in jail. And the 2 people who did it, they wasn't able to go out and chill. They wasn't able to go get their dick sucked. They wasn't able to go get anything. They wasn't able to go chill with their little partner. They're in jail because of the community. And this is what I want my black people to understand. I'm smiling and having fun But ain't really nothing to smile and have fun about. Because my black young men and my black babies and these black children are out here dying with senseless violence that should not happen. And it's because of black people that don't want to speak the fuck up. You need to take a play out this playbook of this community. They said they're not standing for the killing no more. They're not standing for the shooting no more. They told. They went up and said what the fuck they needed to say. They didn't care about the consequences. They didn't care if people came after them. It was a 2-year-old that they wanted the shooters off the streets. Black people, look at this. You need to do what you need to do. Now, from this moment, I'm going to do a whole story just about her. I'm going to do a whole story just about her. But in this story, you saw that the killers, or the would-be killers, are in jail. While we got you, we're going to do one more story while we got you. This is the story of the 6-year-old who was murdered in Chicago. And that killer is still out. Still out. Still out. And y'all want us to believe that Black Lives Matter so much. If it mattered, why are we not taking care of our kids? Back then, my OGs, if you killed a kid, you would get your fucking head blown off.
Wang is live at Northwestern Medical Center.
You killed a kid, you would get your head fucked off. But people today are letting these kids just die in vain. And I blame the communities. I blame the parents. And I blame the judges. Because this is sad. This is sad that shit like this is keep happening in Chicago. And nobody have nothing to say about it. But people like me that talk about the stories, we get splashback from it. I continue to keep taking it. I continue to keep taking the splashback. Because something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Something needs to happen with these stories, man. This story right here, we're going to do this one first. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. This story is coming from out of Chicago. A young man was murdered. A talented dancer was murdered. Dancer, choreography. He taught dancing. He was a teacher of dance. And he was murdered in Chicago. And the people in Chicago who knew him, his family, is begging for anyone who know what happened to this young man to come out. These are the stories of Chicago.
And new at 5, family and friends of a popular 32-year-old man gunned down in broad daylight yesterday on the South Side are speaking out, calling on his killer to come forward.
The victim is identified as Verndell Smith, and WGN's Brona Tumulty is at the dance studio that he ran. Brona.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, we spoke to a lot of people here to get a sense of who Verndell Smith was, and by all accounts, he's somebody that we all would have liked to know. The 32-year-old set up Ultimate Threat Dance Organisation right behind me here when he was 18. This is the latest studio, and it operates on 75th and Eberhard. He loved to dance, and we're told he simply brought out the best in everyone. He wanted to use the studio to help keep kids in the neighbourhood off the streets and safe from gun violence, and the tragic irony is that's exactly how his life ended yesterday morning. We're told he went down the street to the 7400 block of South King Drive to grab a coffee. Police say a silver SUV, possibly a Dodge Journey, approached and someone inside opened fire. While all of that was happening, Smith's only sister just felt in her gut that something was wrong.
I just got a feeling. I was sitting at home and I said, something's wrong with my brother. And my kids thought I was just being over dramatic. I saw online that a 32-year-old man was shot on 7400 King Drive, and I just felt it in my spirit that that was my brother.
Now here's the thing, Smith built this dance organisation up from the ground up, but he is also deaf. That's how much he loved music. His father telling us today he may not have been able to hear it, but he could certainly feel it.
They say he was deaf, bro. He was deaf, and he was a music instructor, dance instructor, and he was deaf. He was crazy. That was crazy for him to be deaf and be able to hear the music and be able to still move to the music. Look all these. I know somebody's dead, and y'all know how I am. Not to pick with people, but come on, man. Look at the kids out here with the news station. Just nobody out here with these kids. Come on.
I also spoke with a lot of the kids here today, and they described him not just as a coach, but as a father figure and a mentor. If anybody has any information about the shooting from yesterday, you're asked to call police, or you can leave a tip anonymously at cpdtip.com. On the side, Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
Gambling going on that I need your help with.
This man was murdered. For what reason, we don't know. A lot of this story seems fishy. First of all, the sister said she had a feeling that it was her brother when he said the street. How did you know that? I'm really interested to see what happens. I'm not saying she got her brother killed. That's not what I'm saying. That's what y'all thinking. That's not what I'm thinking. But I kind of wonder how the fuck you just automatically think that's your brother and he did get shot and killed. Something's weird about that. What's else weird about it is that he was deaf, so he couldn't have heard the gunshot coming his way. Depending on if they were shooting him from the back or the front, we don't know. He might have saw his killer, we don't know. He might know who his killers was, we don't know. But a young man is dead, and all he wanted to do was bring dance and joy to a community that he was taken from. And this is what I need to talk to you guys about what's serious. I sit up here a lot and I tell people to move the fuck out of the cities. And a lot of you take my advice, a lot of you don't. I've had people text me and write me and saying, you know what? You're right, man. I took your advice. Just last year, a young lady had her child killed, taken from her in Detroit, wrote me and said, you know, I took your advice, Doc, and I moved the fuck out of the city. I went and stayed with my aunt and uncle in Washington. And she's doing very good in Washington. She actually had another baby. She actually got married. She actually is working in a place that she loves to work and give back to, a daycare center, and she's doing her thing. And she said I wouldn't have probably had that happen to me if I would have stayed in Chicago, where she was from. I mean Detroit, where she was from, where the murder took place. And it took me back, because that's not the only story. I'll put them up there for you guys that want to see it. I'll put the article. I put it up there on my Instagram so you guys can see the letter from the young lady. She was really, really brave, taking that stand and moving. Sometimes you gotta get the fuck. Now, I'm all for celebrities and rappers giving back to their community. In my city of New Orleans, Louisiana, a young rapper was shot and killed in his own home city a year and a half ago. Lil Snoop, who was a rapper from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was shot in his home city when he went back. A lot of people are falling victim to their city. King Vine was shot in Atlanta, where he's from. Lil Durk, partner, was shot. Lil Duck, or whatever his name was shot in Chicago, in his hometown. You cannot make it in these cities. When people see you, they want what you have. And I feel like it's up to you to make something different and get the fuck. That don't mean you can't go back. That don't mean you can't go back and do shows or whatever. But distance yourself from people who don't want anything. And what we see, people are falling back, going back and being in those same neighborhoods that they should have left from. And that's the problem. I had a lot of news stories to get to you guys about, but I'm going to put those news stories in this one with this. But the big thing is, and the big thing I want you guys to realize is, in Chicago, they had 55 people shot and 11 murdered in a weekend. Something has to change. And it starts with us. So we need to get our shit together as people. Because if not, this shit gonna keep happening. And if it keep happening, it's gonna keep producing what it's producing. Young men who don't give a fuck, who don't have any sympathy for people, and they all out there to do is just kill each other. This is the problem. Hopefully we can fix it. Hopefully we can fix it and get rid of the problem, because it's a big, serious problem that needs to be fixed. Thank you guys for watching. I'm the Listen Doctor, aka the Doc. Please, man, please go ahead and hit that spam buttons. Hit the like button. Like it. Subscribe to the channel. I got a lot of content that I'm trying to bring you guys. Please support independent journalists. We are dying out here, man. People are not trying to support it. The big people are not trying to get us out there. If you love content like this and you love the real shit without the phony, you see how they cut her off when she was trying to tell people to come up? You ain't gonna get that from me. I don't have anybody telling me to cut it off. I don't have a director behind the camera telling me, hey, don't say that. I say what the fuck I want to say. And I don't give a fuck who cares. Because I care about the people. And I care about people, not just people. I care about everyone. And I want everybody to make it. But most of all, what we need to start hearing most, that we don't hear, that I have on all my channels, it's kids' lives matter. Kids' lives matters. And these kids are being taken for no reason at all. No reason at all. It's very sad. And it's not just Chicago. It's Louisiana. It's Atlanta. It's Detroit. It's Philly. It's Baltimore. It would take me a whole day. It would take me about 4 or 5 days to do every news story that you guys send me. And for the people that want to know where you can send me news stories at, you can send me news stories at thelistendoctortv@gmail.com. That's thelistendoctortv@gmail.com. Send me the stories. Whatever story it is. It could be a graduation story. I'm trying to get into those too. You know, it's graduation time. I'm about to start doing the graduation stories. How many people graduated? You know, we always famous for doing that over here. We give back to that too. We just don't want to shine a light on negativity. That's not what we're about. But we are going to talk about it. Because there's no one giving the facts on it. And the facts on it is, it needs to fucking stop. That's the bottom line. And who is it going to start with? It needs to start with somebody like me. Then they'll start with them. Maybe if the young men see this, they might feel like, damn, that man right. We killing our own people. Let's stop. If y'all ever believe in a race war, we're going to lose. Because we ain't have nobody to fight it. We all dead. Thank you guys for coming, man. I'm the Listen Doctor. These are going to be stories that's going to be on the channel. I got 3 stories coming to you guys. Please keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. Until next time, I see you when I see you. Peace.